just going to make our little video here.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Rich, getting some ideas. You're going to cover yours up too?
Put a roof.
Put a little roof.
Like this?
Yeah.
I know, what's his name? Ralph
Merrill.
He used the plastic for the base. And he has those wood things. Earl told me that, hey, what's his name? Yeah, well, yeah.
Frank Andrews.
Well, Frank Andrews bought one.
Bought it,
And he says it's all corrupt.
That's all, yeah. You don't have to paint it either if you don't want to.
No, no.
Yeah. That's the only plastic. Styrene will warp on you. So that's not good.
Yeah.
But ABS is fairly stable. Cap is part of the
on the ground where I'm supposed to stand. So, welcome everybody. Glad to see you here. The turnout is really pretty good for this year. Joel always has something interesting and new to offer, so it's always fun to come here. First of all, I would like to welcome any new members, people who haven't been to a meeting before. Are there any new members that haven't been here before? You haven't been here before. Working on his railroad. He told me since 3:30 this morning, which sounds a little too early for me, but whatever. So I'm going to ask Joel to come by here, wherever he would be, and talk about his railroad. He has a couple of interesting projects that he's got underway. Joel, where did you go? There you are.
There you go.
Stand right there, and here's the microphone.
Testing. First of all, welcome everybody. I'm glad you made it today. This is the biggest crowd I've had since I've had an open house here. I've been a member probably about 15 years with the club. Been to some of your layouts, and it's always fun to go see what everybody else is doing. Just a quick scenario here. I modeled basically the Western Pacific. Most of my collection was Western Pacific locomotives and cars. Their sister railroad was the Denver and Rio Grande Western, so you'll see some of that out here too. And then there's just some oddballs here and there. But it's Western United. I consider it Western United States. And what I was trying to do is simulate the feeling of the Feather River Canyon. So the mountainside over there is the stream and the rock and all that, the forest, to simulate what you'd see if you were up in the Feather River Canyon along the old Western Pacific, which is now Union Pacific Railroad. The whole layout here is about 1.25%, so I'm mimicking what the Western Pacific did. Their railroad was 1% through the Sierra, and it was the easiest way to get through the Sierra in the wintertime, as opposed to the other railroads that were running more closer to 3%. So, and they were higher up, so they got a lot of snow, and they'd have more problems getting over the Sierra. You'll see the Zephyr here. Normally it was an 11-car train. You'll see the oddball Pennsylvania car in there, and it was a sleeper. And when they left Chicago, the train ran between Oakland and Chicago. So if there was a whole car that was sold, they'd tack it onto the train. So it's not uncommon to see an off-railroad car in with the train. Another thing that sets the Zephyr, the California Zephyr, apart is that you notice the Vistadome cars, the short end of the car is towards the locomotive, and no other railroad that I'm aware of ran their Vistadome cars like that. The train would be made up of not all particularly Western Pacific cars, but you'd see Denver and Rio Grande cars in there, and then there'd be CB&Q mixed in. So those were the three railroads that ran the California Zephyr. Came up with. I also have another system that's on the other side, the back side of the garage. There's a big signal. As a train passes, you'll see it turn to red. And as the train goes around the railroad and clears that block, the signal will come back to green again. So that means that the block is open and another train can come into that block. And that's just like what the real railroad does. Well, they used to do it anymore. Everything's GPS now. So anyway, that's something to look at while you're looking around the railroad. But the little lights will light up when there's power on that track, and it'll tell you which direction.
Pardon me while I get wired back up. X marks the spot. Okay, now we were very fortunate today to have our treasurer here with us, and so he wants to give us the treasury report. So Dennis, where'd you go?
The May 1st treasurer's report. I do these monthly when I get the statement from the bank. Started with 11,180 and ended up with 11,106. Wait a minute. We're heading downhill. Heading for the poorhouse.
I'll take our chances.
We took in $313.25. Out of that, 209 of it, well, it was in and out. The 209 was for the Rio Vista trip.
But this is kind of handy, and it saves you from having to buy a lot of couplers. Another thing that I started doing was a building. This is the start of the boron station, which really doesn't exist in at the boron museum now. And this has been kind of an interesting thing because it's hard for an old person like me to keep their brain limber, and this is a brain limbering exercise. Isn't it, Jim? 3D printer is very brain limbering. Another thing that I've been making is windows and doors. You can make them just about any size. And this is a failed project, so I turned it into a skylight because I cut the flanges off. They were wrong. And here's another part of the boron station. This is the front. There's a bay window goes in here, and I still don't know how I'm going to do the bay window. I'm working on that part. But you can see that you can cast a lot of detail into them, and it's really great fun. The Sacramento Public Library Arcade branch has 3, soon to be 4 printers. Good, thank you. Next time I'll be sure to try to make that.
How's your train collection?
I know. 2 or 3 days. A 2-week vacation, you gotta go back.
Yeah, you can take your time. Well, we'll stay here. Not too late. Hey, Dan. 32. You're doing DCC, right? I'm starting to do it. I got a 130 problem. Yeah, looks like I put a big old DCC got bought a coder to put on my engine. I can't get the something's like Ralph looked at it.
Yeah.